Take me to the morning, breaking through the clouds, with the loons singing, echoing their sounds, black and white ensemble, telling of what made. I'll be here to the end of my high days, crisp on the water, soft in the sand, rocky on the shallow shore, with critters on the land. The windswept waves are coming, breaking every wave. Yeah, I'll be here to the end of my high days. Yeah, I'll be here to the end of my high days.
Welcome to another great season of the Homegrown Hunter.
Spring is in the air, the birds are singing, the sun's warming up, and turkey season's just around the corner. I've invited a good friend of mine, Rob McKitchney from Manitoulin Island, to come down and do a turkey hunt for his first time. Joining us is my good buddy Shane Yandon and my son Logan to get us set up before opening day tomorrow morning. A landowner that I've built a great relationship with over the years mentioned that he had lots of birds on his property. He was more than welcome to have me come down there and get set up, as long as he can use the blind as well. We decided to wait until midday before going in to get set up. The birds love to hang out in this L-shaped field, so we thought we'd set up on the corner and try and get opportunities from both directions. We're going to be setting up what's called the Rack Stacker Stronghold. I personally designed this blind specifically for all kinds of setups, whether it's turkey, archery, gun, platform, or pop-up on the fly. It's got several different windows on it, and if you follow us throughout the year, we'll be able to get into some more details of why it's important to get yourself a stronghold. Now, it may seem funny that we're brushing this blind in with very small twigs. However, in the morning when the sun starts to come up, you will get shadows, and brushing it in like this is very important. This is where the Stronghold has lots of loops for you to brush it in. Because these sticks were already cut out of the way, it made it super simple. We just had to get ourselves a couple of shooting lanes, and we're good for the morning. Is that a good enough turkey for you? I don't know, man. You might only need one shot with that bismuth. You show me how you can shoot, and I won't have to get a second one. Pow!
If that's tomorrow morning, you'll hear it.
Flip flop, flip flop, flip flop. Wow. Right on.
Sweet. I like it.
You want to do another one, or you good with that?
I'm good with that. Yeah.
All right.
That's
awesome. It just so happened that Shane had himself an Avian X hen that we were able to use that day, along with the Jake that I'd already had. Rob and I will be sitting in the blind, while Shane is sitting outside along the fence line, softly calling to the birds that were coming to our left. It was just a matter of waiting for them to pitch. It sounds like there's 8 or 10 of them. Yeah, there they are. They're coming, man. is, and what? Do 2 times, buddy.
Homegrown Hunter TV is brought to you by Rack Stacker, Canada's leader in big game attractants. Campbellford Chrysler, a small town dealer with a huge inventory. Huckabones Equipment, Ottawa Valley's Kubota dealer. Bishop Lake Outdoors, First Place Trailers. Kent Cartridge Canada. Nature of Design Signs and Graphics. Woodland Mills, and these other fine sponsors. Welcome back to the Homegrown Hunter. Steve is on a mission to get his buddy Rob on his first turkey. Opening day, Shane is walking the birds right into range for a shot.
Did you hear that? Personally, trust me. See how close we can get them now. Get another one in. Oh. That sucks. I'm expecting to see some more. Just because they heard a bang doesn't mean anything.
This week's tech tip is brought to you by Banks Outdoors, distributed in Canada by Rack Stacker.
If you're an older turkey hunting relic like myself, somewhere in the man cave or in the garage, you've got an ugly looking decoy, similar to this one. This one here is great because it folds down, fits in the backpack, but the realism just isn't there. So you get rid of that and you bring in old Henny Penny. Henny Penny's fantastic too. This decoy has actually allowed me to shoot 12 to 15 birds over the years. However, she's cumbersome and quite loud. So out with the old and in with the new. Avian X decoys, there's about a dozen of them to choose from, all come with these awesome bags to protect your investment. Now check the realism out in these. Now the cool thing is, this is the first year I've hunted with Avian X, but I'll tell you, after hunting with some close friends of mine, the realism is extremely important, especially when you got multiple birds that you're trying to draw in. It's very tough to convince them to come out. Now this is a Jake. It's also got a flock back end and 2 heads that come with it where you can interchange them. It's very, very realistic. They've also got hens that lay down, hens that are feeding, hens that are alert, so there's lots to choose from. And I gotta send a special thanks out to John at Magnum Marketing. You can check out his website because he's got all these in stock for you this coming spring. These are super cool to hunt with, and we're looking forward to getting back out this coming spring. Prior to this turkey hunt, I spoke to Rob, and because he had never turkey hunted before, he really didn't have a shotgun outfitted properly. So I gave him a 20 gauge youth pump that I've used for many years with my kids and my wife, and are easy to handle, especially if you're running and gunning birds. The load that we chose to use was a bismuth from Kent. You can check these out with full details of the non-toxic load at kentdirect.ca. They also come on a 12 gauge check them out. These are what we choose to use next to the TK7s. If you get yourself an Avian X decoy and combine it with some bismuth from Kent Cartridge Canada, you've got yourself a killer setup. Let's get back to the show. The Tacticam Reveal is the official trail camera of the Rack Stacker Elite staff and the Homegrown Hunter TV because they're reliable. If you want to get into accessories, you can check out rackstacker.ca and get them right across Canada. The landowner had asked how we had made out the first day, and of course after the explanation, he had suggested going down near his sugar shack and hunting near the big pines. Shane was set up to our right once again, and he was doing soft calling in hopes that the birds would come down the laneway that goes from the sugar shack to the field on our left. As it turns out, that was not the spot we should have sat, because we were literally under the roost. That's why the birds are so freaking loud. After getting busted, we headed out, and of course the neighbor had all the gobblers. And yes, these are all gobblers. Give them a count. See how slow he's moving? That's how slow the bird was moving when we were hunting with Rob the other day. Wondering if that's the same bird. Sun's right in our eyes. We're hunting out of a Altan PV blind. It's called panoramic view. It allows us to see out of the blind, but they can't see in. The only problem is there's a lot of sun. And it's very warm in this blind. That bird's about 65 yards out. We're going to wait for him to cross the front of us and Shane's going to let him have it. Rob unfortunately had to head back to work. However, Shane stuck it out an extra day to see if we can get his bird. This gobbler didn't come within range, so we decided to get out of the blind and head for the brush line as cover. After entering the upper fields, we didn't see him where we were expecting him. We're not sure where he went. Shane had to pack up and head home, but a few weeks later, I got the opportunity to hunt with Rob again, hunting from the same blind that Shane and I were in, and we knew we had more gobblers around, and Logan was sitting to the right in this fence line. I'm just going to let this play out. Kill him!
And now, this week's Cut to the Chase segment, brought to you by Rack Stacker.
Let's go see what it looks like.
Thanks. That time I had it off a little bit. I got it.
Oh!
No, that time
Oh,
I did.
that time I had it off a little bit, Rob. Look at 3 pellets of, oh! You gave him a haircut. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let's shoot the other one.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Know what you mean?
Yeah.
You're still shooting left. Look at that. Still a dead bird though. Or at least a flopping bird. You can get a second shot into him. So what happened this morning, Logan?
Too close and stood up too quick, and then the bird
And rushed the shot.
and rushed the shot.
So if he had fanned and turned backwards towards you, now he can't see you.
And then I
You
would've
could
had-
slowly, quietly move up and take the shot when he turned back over, right? Because then your gun's up and running.
But it still would have been too close.
Yeah, but you can, now you got your gun up, you can wait for him to walk away and gobble and stick his head out, or stick his head up because he's always looking for a hen.
Yeah. And then I wouldn't have been able to shoot him like that. Then he would have been flopping on the ground.
There you go. Look at the viewer and tell him what you learned.
1, don't rush the shot. 2, always have your gun up. 3, make sure it's far enough away that all the pellets will hit his head. Because 14 yards, 3 pellets hit, which isn't a dead bird.
But at 30 yards,
But at 30 yards, that's what happens.
we'll go back after him. Now it's Robbie's turn.
Take your time. Don't rush the shot.
You get excited with the turkey hunt.
Closed captioning brought to you by Woodland Mill, a Canadian premier forestry products company. Weighing in at 26 pounds 3 ounces. On the right, the undisputed champion of his trophy hen, Henrietta, defending her honor, Red Spur the Rowdy. And on the left, weighing in at 22 pounds 4 ounces, that terrible Tom, his foul foe, Blue Spur the Brave. Does he have the drumsticks to win Henrietta's heart? And now, we bring you the Rack Stacker Royal Rumble. They stare each other down. They size each other up. Which will triumph and win the wings of that fair feathered fowl? Attacking at a breakneck wobble, this gobble squabble is about to begin, each wanting to knock the stuffing out of the other. These quirky turkeys ain't no chickens. The rumble is on. Feathers fly as they turkey trot in circles. Finally, Blue Spur, a most worthy adversary, retreats, and Red Spur again remains Henrietta's undefeated champ.
This is likely the most unorthodox way of turkey hunting. However, we did see a bunch of birds in the field as we entered the opening. So I told Rob, go up that fence line and see if you can jump shoot one of those gobblers. We just didn't realize how many eyes there were. As the last kick at the can, we decided to go and hunt another property that Tyrell had access to. This property is known to have lots of birds, and later on in the season you'll see Tyrell's hunting turkeys out of the Stronghold from this location as well.
The wrong species.
You were roosted there last time, right?
No, up there.
Oh, that one.
That one and the next one over.
I got one of your SD cards. I sent Crystal a picture of you and the boys. Half that SD card was full of turkeys in the kidney. As it turns out, Rob went home empty-handed again, but it certainly wasn't from a lack of trying. We're going to have him back out next spring, so stay tuned to Season 7. Be sure to join us on other shows because we've got a double coming up with my buddy Jeff. Until next time.
For past episodes, be sure to check out hghtv.ca. Until next time.